Hey everybody, and welcome to an utter episode of What the Fuck Fridays.
What the fuck did
Here
we just watch?
IFC. I'm your old pal, the Moo Cow, aka Paul A. Presenza Moo. And as usual, I'm joined by
Jonathan A. Moody.
And boy, do we have a fun treat in store for you today.
Fun? Fun? I don't know if fun is necessarily the word.
Okay, well, if you're looking for some misogynistic, non-PC, over-the-top, bizarre craziness, you're gonna love a movie that we watched called Black Devil Doll.
Black Devil Doll.
And pretty much everything you can think of, the whole movie is pretty much encapsulated in that title because he really was a Black Devil Doll. And wow.
So I guess let's explain it that this doll. Well, actually, before the puppet became a puppet or whatever. So it starts out with what's his name, Mubia.
Mm-hmm.
Mubia is getting
supposed to be Mubia Abdul Jamal, but it's Mubia Abdul Jamal.
Okay.
Because it's a parody.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a parody.
And so Mubia gets electrocuted because he raped 15 and killed...
Raped and murdered 15 Caucasian girls.
Caucasian girls. And then, so he, and his last words, I think, what were they?
I like to eat white butt.
I like to eat white butt. And then...
Because, of course, that's what anyone would naturally say in their last words when they're being executed.
Because why not? Whatever. And so then Heather Murphy, playing Heather, is bored. Her friend Natasha's not answering the phone. So she decides she's going to use the Ouija board.
Which is never a good idea, because you don't know what kind of spirits you're going to conjure. And this happens at midnight, right when, I guess, they're throwing the switch on our poor buddy. And hey presto, before you know it, he has zapped himself from the TV straight into the doll that was sitting on the bed.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I thought it just happened that just popped to happen, or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it was the Ouija
TV,
board.
okay.
And then, the doll sort of goes from a white, Charlie McCarthy doll, all of a sudden now has an afro and is black. And now he talks like this and has like the worst, most horrible, blaxploitation kind of accent and
you said this
dialogue.
Is pretty much a black exploitation horror puppet movie.
I think this is because the original movie that this is semi kind of sort of based on was Black Devil Doll from Hell, which is 1984, which I'm hoping we're going to cover on Indie Film Cafe. This, I think, is in the style of a blaxploitation movie, but it's not a blaxploitation movie in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because it's, it definitely uses a lot of the tropes. But it's kind of like an update and a new version of it. But, clearly this is a movie, a parody, that is made in a way to offend absolutely everybody who's ever lived in their life. Because it's just horrible. All the characters are horrible. The puppet is horrible. Everything is way, way, way over the top and what the fuck. Which is why I picked the movie here. And it's gross and disgusting, and you're going to need 37 showers after you take it.
Yeah.
Always the good mark of quality when it comes to a What the Fuck Friday kind of movie. And yes, this definitely fits in the vein of a kind of a movie you're not going to show just Jen.
Oh, no. And that was the basis for What the Fuck Friday.
Amongst other people. It's probably a very short list of people that I'd want to show this with. But of course, I had to introduce Mr. Moody to it.
Well... It's funny, I've actually got a past with this movie.
Right, you know these guys.
I know. So back in 2006, I started a podcast called The Independent Corner Radio Show. And I would interview a lot of people I meet on MySpace. And one Black Devil Doll had its own MySpace page.
Of course it did.
And so, I became friends with Sean and Jonathan, who work on it.
Jonathan Lewis.
Jonathan Lewis and Sean Lewis. And both of them are wonderful people. Like, I love them to death. And so they made this movie. And so when I say these things, I mean, look, this isn't my style of movie.
No?
This isn't... I'm not going to be making Black Devil Doll 2. Like, that's just not me.
Black Devil Doll goes to Echo Lake? Come on.
No, I wouldn't do that. But it's fine. I like, you introduced me to John Waters, who... they thanked in the special thanks.
Oh yeah, there's definitely influence.
There's definitely influence in John Waters and stuff in this stuff, and it's gross. It's disgusting. It's fucked up. There's things that I'm just
stereotypes and misogynistic. And
it's misogynistic.
All kinds of horrible things.
It's stuff that in 2008, like they could get away with because people just found it funny.
Even then, I don't think they could get away with it. I think, like I said, they made this to offend people. And I think it's just doubly offending people now. I mean, there's no snowflake.
No, man, it's
snowflakes
like
are not going to like this.
completely offending.
It's going to melt all the snowflakes in a 20-mile radius.
This movie is misogynistic.
Which I think is the point.
It's very... there's a lot of jokes that normally, right now especially, would just be frowned upon.
Oh, yeah.
There was even a joke about, like... I'm gonna fuck your kid or something like that, and I was like,
yes.
God damn!
And the thing is,
what is going on here?
And I was talking to Jonathan. I'm like, it's almost as if you could say, if this were a man, if this man were a black character was a man, he could not get away with this. But the fact that he's a puppet makes it funny, but it only works to a point because after a while. It's just not as funny, and it doesn't work, and it goes on too long.
You were telling me you think this would have made a great 40-minute short, or something, and I agree because it's only it's only an hour and 3 minutes, and then the 10 minutes afterwards is like just as credits / like an extra scene that they threw in that almost didn't even didn't make any sense because like there would have been no time.
It's an extra kill plus chicken.
Yeah, so it just plus chicken. Like it had to have the fried chicken jokes and stuff. And that was the other thing. Like, it was a black devil doll who was like sort of perpetrating all the black cliches and black stereotypes,
possible one
types and stuff that you see in these films.
I mean they come out. They're lowest common denominator production.
So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And
it's funny.
And that's like none of that really, like even the gross stuff didn't bother me. Like
we're used to this. I mean, we know some of our buddies and some of the movies that we watch. Kevin Strange goes over the top. Chris Seaver goes over the top. There are other folks who go over the top. So this is in that vein.
I mean, honestly, this is more Kevin Strange and Chris Seaver than it is like John Waters. Even John Waters goes a little further. Like Pink Flamingos was worse than this when like the grossness.
Yeah, so this is veering into the era or the area of transgressional film.
Yeah,
because that's what it's doing. It's not only crossing every boundary, it's stomping on it and spitting on it and peeing on it and pooping on it and you name it.
And we see that
and you see it pretty much. So yeah, the bodily fluids go a-flying, and I'm pretty much sure all of them were represented in this film in one shape or another. And it's just out there. So it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but when you've seen
not many people
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of movies like me, it's kind of refreshing every now and again for a film to sort of like go there and just go for it. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, see, even to this season, you showed me the Greasy Strangler. And Greasy Strangler went there at times and stuff and went a little crazy.
Imagine if the Greasy Strangler had been a puppet.
Oh, God, only...
Everything is better with a puppet. You know this.
I don't know. Would he have gone through the little... the car wash.
Yeah, there you go. He'd have to be in a regular washing machine going around.
Something like that. Funny. It's funny. It was, and it had some moments where I thought, oh my God, this is kind of cute, and the like fucking crazy world
ridiculous.
of like ridiculousness. But then it just the cuteness kind of went away, and then even some of it went away. Period, because like we said. Some of the jokes went on a little too long, and that I think that was sort of what killed. I would look at the time, keep looking at the time. Never a good thing when I have to keep checking the time. And the time seems to be going slowly. And I'm just like, oh my god.
A lot of the scenes kind of go on and on and on and on, where we get the point. And that's the thing with comedy. Comedy has to be quick.
Car wash.
Yeah.
The scene where they're washing the car and they're all, you know.
Comedy benefits from being quick and just, you know, do the joke, move on, do the joke, move on, do the joke, instead of lingering, okay, we get it.
But I think they were,
like that.
As far as comedy goes, this was pretty funny. It had some bits that made me crack up and was surprised.
Some cringy bits, too.
It has very cringy bits. I really hated the misogynistic parts of it.
That's tough.
Thought,
it's a tough pill to swallow.
And I understand, like, you know, like, sort of, that was the character of it, you know? Like, that's the Black Devil doll. He just doesn't give a fuck.
And he's a parody of the sort of blaxploitation character that was presented in the 70s, that was sort of, it wasn't really accepted. It was just, that was the trope that was done, and they're sort of utilizing that and sort of making it even worse. It's just sort of underline it and show you how ridiculous it is. But that goes on for so much before you can just like, okay, God, all right,
like,
enough.
Let's move on. You know, because like you said, the jokes have to go quickly, otherwise you get bored. The other character, like, there's the characters that kind of came and went that sort of after a while, like, they had like too long of scenes together. Like the white tea guy. Like, did we really need like him in his studio?
Not
did
that
we really need a lot of his stuff? No, we needed him to get killed, which was eventually going to happen. But we didn't need to keep watching him watch everybody, you know, that stuff. And those things were done for padding.
And then it's like I was saying, it's kind of like in a porn industry. That's like the white cuckold porn stuff that's added in there, and you know, there are people out there who are going to recognize that for what it is. But the thing is, again, it's too much of it, and it goes on too long. So yeah, clearly, if you're going to be easily offended, this is not going to be the kind of movie for you. But that's why we stuck it on What the Fuck Friday, because this is perfectly clear that we're going to, even someone like me is going to sit there and say, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, it's a What the Fuck Friday for sure.
For sure. And the really good thing, you do get some kind of a payoff, because after having to deal with this loathsome, horrible puppet character, there is some comeuppance towards the end.
Right.
So, sort of. So you do finally get to have some kind of relief.
And then they have to have the horror thing at the end where there's possibly the son of... I think it would have to be son.
You'd have to contact your buddies and talk to them, because I don't know whether they planned on maybe having, you know, a sequel or another film later on, and maybe people who thought they might be originally interested in producing it looked at this one and were like, okay, maybe not.
I don't know.
Or maybe they just wanted to go in another direction. I don't know that they've done a lot. They were this group was part of an anthology group that put out a movie called The Black Box that's supposed to be pretty good. And I think they've done some other shorts, but I don't think they've done the Lewis brothers. I don't know if they've done any other long full-length movies.
This is sort of a short. Yeah. It's not a short, but it's sort of a short. It feels like a short. Like, because it is only an hour and 3 minutes plus credits. And I mean, I hate to say it, but like, you know, and even the beginning of the movie has credits for a while, so like, you have to think about it might only be really an hour, you know, or whatever.
I mean, the thing is that the concept as a joke is funny, but only for a while. Right. And that's problematic, because how do you pad that out to full-length movie length and not just, you know, have worthless scenes? And it's a very difficult
black exploitation meets child's play.
Kind of, yeah. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, and you know, and I think that's kind of a cool idea and concept.
Definitely a cool idea. I like it.
But it's just
in the execution, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one.
Especially if you set out on offending everybody all the time. Mm-hmm. If you set out on doing that, the problem is you have to keep doing it, you know. And the thing is, if you just keep, you know, if you do one thing that's offensive, you're like, oh my God, that's offensive. And the second thing, oh my God, And after a
You
while,
have to
like,
keep topping yourself, basically.
you're like, okay, this is like South Park. South Park's only 30 minutes long, or 20 minutes long technically.
Yeah.
20 minutes
22.
long, and it gets straight to what offends you, and then moves on. That's done. And it's done. This goes on, so it's like, oh god, that offended me. Oh god, that offended me, and it just keeps going for the whole movie, and I'm just like, after a while, it's like,
So most of these people I did not know, but you said you recognized a few folks.
I know
and
Natasha Talans. I'm actually
Okay.
friends with her. She's really sweet.
And
I knew
she had the
did this.
longest part in the film, apart from.
Also, she was barely the casting director and
did some makeup,
some
did a few other
stuff.
things.
Yeah, everybody did like a million things. There's John Austin apparently.
Did a billion things.
Did like a million things. Sean and Jonathan Lewis did a million things. I'm sure everybody who worked on the movie did like everything in the kitchen sink just to help make this movie. But it helped pad the credits out because then they'll be like, this person did like 20 things and then this, whatever. So they can say that. But really, I mean, this was probably a 3-man crew or something.
Oh,
or 4-man
I would say. And there's some other stuff that's kind of interesting too. Like, I liked a lot of the extra production stuff that they did, like the opening credits and the whole digital thing with the Ouija board. That was really, really neat.
Did you guys just get possessed by a demon?
Yeah. That was really kind of cool. I liked the way they did that. So a lot of the credits, I liked the way they did that. I liked a lot of the music. I thought the music was really, really cool.
The music was good. I mean,
yeah.
It didn't, nothing like threw me off. It didn't feel unwanted. When we watch movies and like the music just doesn't match what the scene is like.
There's no inappropriate music. Music
Yeah.
fits not only the film, but it fits the whole genre, the whole
a lot
black
of rap,
exploitation
a lot of
stuff.
rap and stuff,
And a lot of 70s wow chicka wow chicka wow
Yeah.
wow wow chicka wow kind of stuff too,
Yeah,
which is kind of fun.
I liked Natasha a lot. And like you said, she had the biggest role, and I mean, she had the biggest role. Period.
Yeah,
I mean, she was
they
great.
all did. That's kind of why they're there. And
Well, except for one.
yeah,
So one girl didn't show, and we're pretty sure that just
wasn't in her contract.
Wasn't in her contract, and I'm like thinking, I'm surprised that they just said,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting the feeling some of them possibly work in the adult entertainment industry.
Natasha did. I don't think she does anymore, but she did.
So clearly, they're not only are they used to this kind of a thing, but I mean, I guess working with a puppet doing all of these things instead of a human partner gotta be easier.
There's a girl named Precious Cox.
Cox.
I don't know if she works in the film industry or not.
What a great name! I love that.
We love you, Precious. You were Precious.
Precious.
I was sad that she died.
I was sad they all died.
Yeah.
But,
they all had to die.
Yeah, because it is supposed to be a horror movie, so.
Well, and that was the thing, like. You don't really get attached to any character, not even the Black Devil doll himself. You don't get attached to any of the characters. You don't care.
You liked Heather Murphy, though.
I felt sort of bad for her character that she had to keep eating McDonald's. I mean, poor girl. That I felt bad about.
Oh, not even a McNugget amongst them either. Just a bunch of burgers back and forth.
Just all she was doing. And then I was like, man, I wonder if they just sat with her and just watched her eat. And and that's like, and they're just like, keep filming.
Oh Lord! But yeah, there's lots of ridiculous over the top sex humor, lots of flying body fluids, lots of toilet humor. There's one chick, I guess she has really bad gas and farting and poops, and there's a lot of that, and that comes full circle back later on. Not to be a spoiler, it was one of your favorite scenes. Yeah, there's brown showers, there's golden showers, there's white showers, there's all kinds of showers.
Yeah, I went all over the place.
Yeah, so whatever it is, whatever thing that you think is transgressive in nature, this movie went there.
I mean, he had sex with a dead dude.
Dead dude. Yeah, there's necrophilia.
There's necrophilia like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. And then there was just a lot of like.
Oh God.
They just tried to do as much stuff. Like they try to just throw as many things, and see what sticks, and it some stuck and some were like, I like. some of the things like we kept going. Why can this needs to end? Because I mean, like this scene needs to end. Like this stuff just keeps going on, and so if they cut stuff down, but you know,
well, like I
once
said,
again, they needed it for time.
You kind of paint yourself into a corner because with the subject matter, there's only so much you can really do, even for a parody. So in order to extend it, you have to sort of make these scenes go on and on and on, and that's where a lot of this comes from. Like the whole scene where the girls show up. Well, they don't just show up. They show up and have a 10-minute car wash scene where they're not washing the car at all. They're just laying all over the car and rubbing suds and water all over each other and squirting shit on each other and rubbing their boobs against the glass. And that goes on for 10 minutes because they got to pad the movie out, and it becomes kind of like a grotesque, like you were saying, a rapper's video.
Right,
You know?
it became a rap video, like when with the car wash. The one thing I was thinking about is there's that scene in the scene where he kills the guy, he kills the boyfriend, White Tea, and then he puts the body in the closet. They never go back to that,
no,
or anything,
no.
And
He's done.
yeah, I understand, but like, I was like thinking it would have been funny if there were like a realtor that was coming in to give, this home had, dealt with all the blood and everything, and they're just checking, and somebody never checked the closet. You open up the closet and see the dead body with
Well, I mean, they missed an opportunity as well because remember, he dumps all her friends on the Twister board. Why not dump the ex-boyfriend too? I mean,
look,
sure.
Yeah, look, I killed your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend.
Unless the puppet is ashamed that he had necrophiliac sex with the white dude.
I don't think he would be. That movie, it didn't seem like that kind of, not that kind of guy.
Yeah, but remember, the sex in this case, the necrophilia in this case, is all about, degrading the person and not about enjoyment. So, that fits in line with the way this puppet is thinking.
Yeah.
Because he's an evil puppet from hell. So, this is what they do.
The Black Devil doll from hell, which I wonder, like, okay, so is this supposed to be a parody of that or something?
Yeah.
So was that? I mean, that was a real movie. You said
Black Devil doll from hell.
And was that a black exploitation movie?
That's a black exploitation movie. Although it comes in, what is it, 1983, 1984. So it comes at the end of most of those. I'd have to do more research, but I think it was probably filmed during the early 80s. It wasn't all filmed in 1984. So it was put together piece by piece. Cool. But it's definitely, I think you could put it in because it's mostly black people in the film and it's Black Doll. So I think this movie pays homage to that film in a lot of ways, but it's paying homage to the 70s, the sort of the era of blaxploitation by taking every single possible trope that was there and just exploding it into even more ridiculous levels than it already is. We haven't covered a lot of blaxploitation films yet on this show.
I don't think we've covered any of it.
Not really, but we're going to. There's just so many genres and movies that we can get to, but this is one I definitely wanted to show you. And like I said, there's not a lot of folks that I can safely show this with that are not gonna, get offended. And of course, there's a lot to be offended. That's the whole point. But you gotta get past that and say, okay, I understand why they're doing this. And even so, even though I understand why, it doesn't necessarily mean that I enjoy it.
I know.
It's not a movie I watch often.
I know. And it's not something I don't know. I don't even know if I'd watch it again. Not saying it's a, like that's a terrible movie or whatever. I don't need to watch it. I feel like this is a movie where I've watched it. It's done. I would buy the movie probably for the commentary and stuff because, it does have commentary. It seemed, I think. It said.
Yeah.
So it has like some stuff to it, some extras and everything, and that would be worth having.
And all of the racist stuff and all of the misogynistic stuff, if all of that stuff is making you feel very uncomfortable, that's good. You should be uncomfortable with that sort of thing, and it should make you talk about it, and it should make you question about stuff. And the fact that it's going back and looking at those early 70s blaxploitation tropes in this way, of course it's making it more ridiculous and grotesque because they are ridiculous and grotesque, right. And it's a good thing to talk about that sort of thing. that's the reason why I really don't like the cancel culture kinds of things, because you need to talk about stuff. You can't just say, oh, I don't want to see it and that's it. There are reasons why these things exist, and you have to confront them. You have to bring them out. You have to talk about them. You have to see why they're there to begin with. And by examining them is the only way that you can really understand them. You can't cancel that kind of stuff away. It just goes underground, and then you're surprised when people have these things when we never talked about it and we should have.
Yeah.
This is your chance to do it. So it's good that it makes you feel uncomfortable. Now, if you're, on the other hand, if you're loving it, that might be kind of a problem, and that might, you might need to do some self-examination, but that's not where this is coming from. This is what you're like
looking forward to.
Right. Clearly this movie is not a celebration of that kind of stuff. It is a parody of that kind of stuff. And there's a big difference.
Yeah, and it lets you know, like, this stuff, like, you can feel that this stuff is wrong, obviously, when he talks to the women the way he talks to. He
calls them bitches constantly.
It pissed me off.
Sure.
And it's supposed to do that.
Right.
So, like, it didn't bother me in the sense of, like, whatever, but I don't like men treating women that way, and I think sometimes that is the way that people are. Now, then again, sometimes you don't need to show that. You don't need to have somebody, showing the real world like that. But you don't also need to show the exact opposite.
Yeah,
that's not actually
it
happening.
all depends on what the movie's trying to do. Context is everything, guys. So, right. Again, going back and examining those tropes and exploring what they are, what they mean, and why they are there, why they exist in the first place, why did blaxploitation cinema even exist in the first place? These are all good questions, and you can sit down and have a very interesting discussion about that sort of topic, and it's great. That's good. When it leads to discussion and examination, that's always a positive thing. It's different if it's just, we're just, exploiting this topic and making money off of it. It's not just that. There's a lot more going on. And I appreciate that. And I like stuff that's like that.
Yeah, also I really love the grindhouse feel to it.
Yes,
it felt
very
like
grindhouse.
The 70s grindhouse feel. And I don't know if that's all exactly what they were going with, but sometimes it went into that.
In the mid to late aughts, I guess, the 20s, that was like kind of a thing, was to sort of bring back the grindhouse feel. There were a lot of movies that were sort of doing that. Even Chris Seaver, one of our favorite directors, he was doing sort of grindhouse throwback
2010s,
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
Around that time.
That was a time for that.
Actually, yeah, because like I think the movie Grindhouse that Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez did, it came out in 2007, if I'm correct.
There you go.
So that was the time. So people were really big on that. I never made one, and it's a personal thing to me that I would definitely never write or direct a black exploitation movie because I'm not black. Other people can do it because if they are, they can do it.
Most weren't.
Right, and that to me is a little weird to think about. But you're right. I think most weren't. I just would never do it. But like we were talking earlier about Fred the Hammer Williamson, he made black exploitation movies.
Sure.
He doesn't like.
That was his bread and butter.
He doesn't like them being called that, from what I understand, and that is cool. Like I get it, but that's just it is what it was called. Like
sure.
I'm not coming up with a name and just saying
No, that's
it.
the nom de guerre that was done. And you're right. I personally would not feel comfortable making a blaxploitation film. However, I would be more than happy to make a parody of a blaxploitation film, which is what this movie is. This movie is a parody of that. Well, because again, you can take the topic and you can explore it and you can do whatever it is you want to do with it.
As long as you have a puppet.
Everything is better with puppets. I'm sorry.
That's what you say all the time.
I love my puppets because as soon as you see that, you know it's going to be just ridiculous and absurd, and there's a lot of fun that you can have with that. I mean, my favorite episode of Angel was when he got turned into a puppet. I mean, it's just ridiculous and hysterical. I love it.
Those are the times where, Joss Whedon was jumping the shark. Really. I hate to say.
That was a great jump.
That year, he did the musical, and they were like, what else can we do to... let's make Angel become a puppet.
But they worked. That was the thing. He knows how to jump the shark and land and make it look good.
Yeah, every show like that kind of becomes that way. Supernatural did like musical, thing, but it was like a play musical, and like all these shows started doing that because like at that time, they were just trying to do something different. This movie itself was a different kind of puppet movie.
I bet you Quentin Tarantino would love this movie.
I bet he's seen it.
I bet he's seen it because I know he loves, those kind of grindhouse blaxploitation movies. I know he loved like Coffee and Foxy Brown and all that stuff. I mean, that's what he grew up on. So I know he loves that. So he must have seen this film.
Oh man, I would love to know what he thought.
I know this is one of the many, 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 many times I wish we could just call him up and have him hang out and have some food and just, hey, Quentin, let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about
or hey, Quentin, come watch Black Devil Doll with us.
Because he's like us. He will sit and watch tons and tons and tons of movies.
Oh man,
Kevin Smith's the same thing. He's just like us. He would sit there and watch all these movies.
I want to find out if he's ever seen this movie.
When I'm hugely rich, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have the two of them sit down together with us and maybe some of our other director buddies, and we're just gonna all talk about movies and eat food and watch some stuff and hang out, and
that'd be fun.
It would be awesome.
Yeah. One day.
And maybe we'll show them all Black Devil Doll and we'll see what they have to say.
That I all right. I said before I'd never watch this again. That would make me want to watch it again. There you go. So there you go.
There you go.
I'll admit to that. But yeah, no, it's such a fun.
I mean, would you even say that the puppet looked a little bit like Samuel L. Jackson? Little bit.
I'm so glad they didn't go that route though. He does not say motherfucker at all. He said
he said it. He said it.
Yeah,
he said it once
bitch.
or twice. I think he said it once or twice.
I don't know. I don't remember him saying that. But that doesn't mean he didn't. I just don't remember him saying it.
Damn these motherfucking puppets on the motherfucking train.
Yeah, they never went that way, which I was happy about because I thought that's how he was going to talk.
I know.
And I felt like that's where they were going to go with it. And that would have pissed me off because that's just the go-to guy at that time. Right. Period.
Even that trope is older than Samuel L. Jackson. He's channeling a lot of that blaxploitation stuff too. Yeah. And so that's why
he wasn't really around then, was he?
His career wasn't, but he was. I mean, he
was around. He lived
enjoyed all that. I'm sure he watched all that stuff too.
I'm just saying he wasn't like a big star.
I'm willing to bet that's a lot where he and Quentin Tarantino connect is the movies that they probably both enjoyed. And that's probably where they become really good friends. Yeah, and I'm assuming they're really good friends because they work with each other all the time.
Yeah, I don't. Real quick, this has nothing to do with this movie, but did you know that Quentin Tarantino, or what was Samuel L. Jackson actually auditioned for the role of the black guy in Reservoir Dogs?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he didn't get it.
Oh wow!
And the other guy got it, and you know what Quentin Tarantino said to him at Cannes? He's like, how did the other guy do? How do you think the other guy did, or something? Did your part? And he got so pissed at him, like, you asshole. But no, it's funny because those guys together. Fuck man, I would love to be a fly on the wall, just watching them hang out and shit.
And watching a movie like this, it would be a lot of fun. And I'm sure Quentin Tarantino would have a whole lot more interesting things to say about the topic.
Oh, he would probably know
exploitation.
Like if they did any specific things that like parodied black exploitation movies or whatever, he would know. Oh, that's from Coffee.
Yep.
That's from this.
That's from Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah. And we wouldn't know this necessarily.
Yeah, we have Welcome Home, Brother Charles on the list. We're gonna do it. We just haven't quite gotten to it yet. I think it's going to be a What the Fuck Friday. I don't know that it's quite tame enough for Indie Film Cafe, but we will get to it.
I've heard some pretty...
I
bought it too from Vinegar Syndrome, I think, and just stuff like
so funny.
Yeah.
But it is also transgressional in nature. And that's, what can I say? My list of movies is so long.
Yeah, that's why we started What the Fuck Friday too, is because there's so many movies we want to do for Indie Film Cafe, but we've got to save some of them for What the Fuck Friday
And
because
there's a class of movie that's just a little too much for our indie film cafe folks.
Yeah, this is just a little bit too much. We wouldn't recommend you guys seeing this unless you really feel
this is definitely over the top in every possible way.
If you have not seen Black Devil Dawn, you just heard us talk about it. I mean, I don't think we spoiled much. I mean, we did. I think we spoiled
we did the general overall plot, but I'm telling you,
but you haven't
until you
seen
see it. Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. Like you don't know nothing until you see.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, you need to watch it because it's definitely something that if you are easily offended, I'd still watch it because if you can get through it. Especially misogynistic stuff. I mean,
it's a tough cookie. It is a tough cookie.
It's tough, but it's funny at times, and it's like I said, it should be 40 minutes, or they should have just somehow figure out how to like move the plot along quicker.
Yeah.
Period, and add more scenes.
That's the main issue with it. What did you think about the acting?
Oh, the acting was great. Like I don't think.
I don't know that I would call it great, but I think it was adequate. They were all good for their roles.
For a parody, yeah, I thought they did wonderful. A lot of it was just silly humor and shit and supposed to be bad acting. So like they did their part well.
It's hard to do bad acting on purpose and make it look something different than doing bad acting on purpose. It's a difficult thing to do and pull off properly. So in that respect, I understand what you're saying. Still wouldn't put it as great. There's no Laurence Olivier's in here, but that's okay. But it's appropriate. It's decent for the film.
I liked everybody.
There's nobody in there that I said, oh well, they were bad. They were all pretty much.
They were all
good.
Their character. They were all who they were supposed to play.
Right.
Even White T, man, he, talking to himself and yelling at his grandma and shit didn't even bother me. It just made me kind of laugh, chuckle a couple times, giggle.
Terrible Wigger parody, and culturally appropriated gangster wannabe character. But yeah,
I don't really like that term either.
That's too bad. But yeah, so otherwise, check it out. Or if it's just too much for you, don't go near it. You won't like it.
Nope.
It'll not make you feel happy or special, but
it'll probably piss you off.
If you're looking for something that's going to open up a can of worms and discuss stuff, maybe this is the one with the right set of people. God, it's got to be the right set of people. Otherwise, it's not going to be a happy party. It's
got bodily fluids all over. It's got
every kind.
It's got every kind. Every kind that you could possibly imagine. So, and more than once. So, this movie is not something for somebody who's squeamish or somebody who can't handle that stuff.
Transgression they did not do, and I guess they couldn't figure it out. There were no animals that got, messed with in this film, which is
God.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because that's you and I share that. That is a line we never really want to see crossed. Every now and again it does, but generally we don't want to see that.
No, I love my critters.
Yeah, so. That's a tough one. But they didn't go there for that, so I'm kind of glad. I mean, maybe there is some fried chicken that gets wasted. I mean, okay, but...
Well, I mean, it was already going to be wasted, so whatever. Yeah. My vegan friends would not like that.
That's true. So if you don't want to see people eating or a puppet eating fried chicken, there you go.
Or a guy eating it while he's driving. 2 buckets! That was weird.
Yeah.
That was like I've never seen that in my life.
Nom 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 nom.
Sean, good job.
There you go.
Driving while eating. I look. Once again, I said stuff in the beginning. This is not my cup of tea normally. Like, Chris Seaver, is the line I kind of draw. Him and Kevin Strange, they sort of have like a way where I could be okay with this. Or whatever. Yeah, because it's so juvenile.
This goes over the top of them.
This is a little bit more than that. So, I just, not my cup of tea. But, I appreciated the movie. I loved what it did.
Every now and again, it's kind of fun to go treading in waters that are a little more treacherous. I don't hang out there often myself, but every now and again, it can be fine.
Yeah.
Especially if you are sick to death the same old stuff that's coming out in Hollywood. This is definitely not like that.
No, this would never be made in Hollywood.
You'll never see this on Tubi. You'll never see this on Netflix.
Why won't you see this on Tubi?
I
think you could.
Think so?
Yeah, like I don't know why it's not on Tubi. I guess maybe if Jonathan and Sean actually own the thing, then they'd have to actually physically upload it to Tubi. But Tubi is not picky.
Maybe.
Oh, trust me, I've seen some bad movies that are way worse than this and way more offensive on there. So this movie's actually pretty damn good.
But not Netflix. You'll never see this on
Netflix.
No.
But I do remember. I think it was being sold on Netflix. I thought you could rent the DVD of it.
Really? I'm surprised.
I think. I could be wrong.
Look at the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre where they got rid of all the necrophilia and cannibalism because you just can't have that stuff now. You just can't do it.
Netflix might be kind of trying to keep a cleaner image. Just like Disney. Disney, you would not. This would not be a Disney thing. But I'm just saying,
as anti-Disney as it gets.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I like it.
Which is fine. There's certain people like that. So, I'm sort of in the middle. I like my Disney, but I also like my movies that are offensive. I can eat my cake or have my cake and eat it too.
So you can have Bambi on the one side and
Bambi makes me cry. I won't watch Bambi.
And big black puppet dick on the other side.
Yeah, I won't watch Bambi. Bambi is the animal thing of the mother.
Oh yeah, animal torture. There you go.
Animal dying in the beginning, the mama. I can't watch that. But Dumbo, yeah, you got Dumbo on one side, and all that. So I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's an enjoyable movie. If you like, movies that are gonna offend the fuck out of you, and shit, and you want to torture your friends, and especially your quote unquote woke friends, or whatever that are, haven't watched this and see how long it takes before they turn it off.
Some of them are going to get it though. They're going to get where this is coming from.
No.
Some of them, not all. Certainly
most
not
of the
all.
people in in that term, the people who work for Netflix wouldn't get this, But the people who, you're right, maybe the people who are kind of like you, where they're open-minded about, discussions on this stuff.
And they understand context of things, So yeah, but yeah, your average person on the street is probably these days, I don't know that I would show this to too many. But I showed it to you, so there you go. And this is just one of many, many, many crazy.
Were you surprised? Were you surprised I was okay with it as much?
A little bit, yeah.
You even were surprised I actually knew what a movie was. I didn't see it, but I know.
I didn't know that you had a connection to those guys.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So yeah, you'll have to reach out and talk to them and see what they have to say.
I'll let them know.
Maybe we could get them on for a spotlight. That would be great. We could talk to them about it.
I'd love to get both to hear. They're both their perspective.
I would love to hear what they have to say, and I'd love to hear if that was indeed part of what they wanted to do with this parody, was to sort of explode the whole blaxploitation trope.
I think they just wanted to have fun.
I think that's definitely part of it.
2008, man. I don't think they were. I mean, and I could be wrong. Maybe they were. Maybe they'll listen to this thing and go, "That dude gets it, man." But maybe it was sort of I have this feeling it was just fun. It was just you know what? Let's see how much shit we can get into.
I'll bet the truth lies in between. I'm sure they probably did both.
You think so?
I think they had a lot of fun, and I think they also had an issue to explore. So we'll see. I'd love to talk to them.
Which is great. I mean, I don't even do that in my stuff. And it's not because whatever. It's just because I just don't have a message. Right now. If I ever do get one, I'll put that into a movie, but right now I have no real message. My message is entertainment.
Our message is cows are incredibly cool.
I mean, that's his message. My message is let's have fun, enjoy ourselves.
There you go.
And that was part of this thing. So.
Well, did you have fun?
Yeah. Did I enjoy myself? Yeah. Do I ever want to watch it again? Maybe if we're in Tarantino.
In the right audience.
Tarantino, call us up. Call us. We'll come.
You got our new number. Give us a call.
Oh.
Indie Film Cafe Spotlight. We want you.
Oh.
Someday, man.
All right. We got
it's
our
a date,
bucket
baby.
list.
There you go.
I mean, he's going to do his 10th movie, and then what is he doing?
There you go.
He
Come
says
on our
he's
show.
doing nothing.
Come on. You know you want to. Talk to the moo cow.
If he hasn't watched the show yet, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Stantina's watching everything.
He's seen it.
I hope so.
All right, guys.
Anyway.
Well, thanks very much for joining us. Until next time, when it is Jonathan's turn to do a What the Fuck Friday kind of film.
And it's going to be my last episode of the season. And I've got something that might actually be a little crazier than this one.
Wow. That sounds promising. We'll have to see. But thanks for joining us. Please join us next time, and we will see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.